The Goatman. In the secluded hills of a small town, the legend of the Goatman lingered in hushed whispers and nervous glances. Locals spoke of a creature that roamed the woods at night, part man and part goat, its twisted form lurking among the trees. It was said that the Goatman was once a hermit who had dabbled in dark magic, cursed to live in the shadows for eternity. One fateful summer evening, a group of teenagers decided to test their courage. Lured by the thrill of urban legends, they ventured deep into the woods, armed only with flashlights and bravado. The sun dipped below the horizon as they navigated the narrow trails, the trees closing in around them like a suffocating embrace. As the night deepened, the atmosphere grew thick with an unsettling tension. They reached a clearing where the air felt charged, and an eerie silence enveloped them. They gathered around a campfire, joking and recounting tales of the Goatman, dismissing it as mere folklore. But as the shadows lengthened, a chill settled in their bones. Suddenly, the crack of a twig echoed through the silence. They froze, eyes darting toward the dark tree line. The laughter faded as they strained to listen. Another snap, closer this time. Panic began to bubble beneath their bravado. "It's probably just a deer," one of them whispered, though his voice quivered. As they sat in the growing darkness, the unmistakable sound of heavy breathing filled the air. It was low and guttural, reverberating through the clearing. The fire flickered violently, casting long shadows that danced around them. "Did you hear that?" a girl whispered, her face pale with fear. Before anyone could respond, a hulking figure emerged from the trees, stepping into the dim light of the fire. The creature was grotesque, a misshapen body covered in coarse, dark hair, with twisted limbs and eyes that glowed an otherworldly yellow. Its head resembled that of a goat, with long, curling horns that seemed to scrape the sky. The teens scrambled backward, hearts pounding as the Goatman let out a terrifying roar, a sound that echoed through the forest. The creature's lips curled into a sinister grin, revealing sharp, jagged teeth. "You shouldn't have come here," it growled, its voice a horrifying blend of human and beast. In a frenzy, the teens turned and ran, the sounds of their panicked breaths drowned out by the heavy footsteps of the creature pursuing them. They dashed through the underbrush, branches whipping against their faces, but the Goatman was relentless. It thrived in the darkness, knowing every twist and turn of the woods. One by one, they became separated in the chaos. The last girl, Sarah, stumbled and fell, her flashlight flickering before it finally went out. Panic surged through her as she scrambled to her feet and ran blindly into the darkness, the echo of hooves growing louder behind her. "Help! Please," she screamed, but her voice was swallowed by the night. Just as she felt a cold breath on her neck, she saw a flicker of light in the distance, a cabin. Desperate, she dashed toward it, praying for refuge. She burst through the door, slamming it shut behind her. The cabin was dark and filled with the scent of mildew and decay. Heart racing, she fumbled for a light switch, finally illuminating the small space. As she caught her breath, she searched for a weapon, anything to defend herself. Suddenly, the door rattled violently, and she heard the low growl of the Goatman outside. "Let me in," it hissed, its voice dripping with malice. "I won't hurt you, if you let me in." Sarah backed away, her mind racing. The tales of the Goatman flooded her thoughts, stories of how it preyed on the weak and terrified. She refused to become another victim. Gripping a rusty old axe she found propped against the wall, she prepared herself for the worst. The door burst open, and the Goatman stepped inside, its monstrous form filling the entrance. With one swift movement, Sarah swung the axe, barely grazing the creature. It roared in fury, the sound reverberating through the cabin. In a moment of sheer adrenaline, she dashed past the Goatman and ran into the woods, ignoring the branches that clawed at her skin. She could hear it chasing her, its heavy breaths a constant reminder that it was right behind her. She ran until her legs felt like lead, finally collapsing by a riverbank. Gasping for air, she glanced over her shoulder, half expecting to see the Goatman closing in on her. But the forest was silent. The creature had vanished into the darkness. Days turned into weeks, and Sarah returned to the town, forever haunted by her encounter with the Goatman. The legend had claimed her friends, but she was determined to warn others. She spoke of the horror she witnessed, of the creature lurking in the shadows, waiting for the next group of unsuspecting souls to wander too deep into the woods. The townspeople listened but remained skeptical. They were drawn to the thrill of the legend, eager to test their bravery. But Sarah knew the truth, that the Goatman was real, and it would always be watching, waiting for the next chance to strike. And as the nights grew darker, the whispers in the wind carried the chilling reminder, the Goatman was still out there, lurking in the shadows, hungry for fear.